They'd be like, Mom, don't worry. I watched a boy wear them online first.
I should have known better, and I didn't, and I'm extremely embarrassed by that.
And I've had people in my ear for the past 3 years calling me a liar, calling me manipulative, calling me obsessed.
Here's Adam at 15 saying, oh, my ass looks so good today. And here's Colleen asking for pics. She is 31 years old.
Her shorts are so short, we can see all the creases and crevices. Want a cheese ball?
Hey, it's your Uncle Herman here, and I'm still an alpha male. Today I'm talking about the Colleen Ballinger allegations that have resurfaced recently against her regarding the way that she's interacted with her young fans and spoken to them inappropriately in a way that some are categorizing as grooming. Colleen Ballinger got her start on YouTube by doing a character known as Miranda Sings. She quickly grew a large fan base across her channels both as Miranda and as herself, and now after being on YouTube for nearly 2 decades, she is known for her family vlogging channel. On a surface level, she seems like a very unlikely suspect for this sort of thing. A happy-go-lucky mother of 3, vlogging her family and doing a funny character on the side. However, evidence suggests that her behaviour towards fans has been continually inappropriate, and she has managed to sweep it under the rug and keep up her online persona without any damage to her reputation up until this point. The allegations against Colleen started to surface 3 years ago, when YouTube personality and friend of this channel, Adam McIntyre, posted a video detailing how he had been a big fan of Colleen as a young teenager and had been involved in her circle of fans that were part of a group chat with her in it. It's clear that Adam was known to Colleen. They had met a couple of times at events, spoken frequently in DMs, and in 2017, Colleen met up with him for lunch when she came to Dublin on a tour. Colleen also infamously sent underwear to Adam when he was a minor as part of a live show where she and her friend Corey found Adam's Twitter and thought it was funny, and therefore they decided that they were going to send him the underwear that Corey was wearing.
Oh my god, that makes me laugh. I want to send him something. Do you want the bra, Adam?
Adam, do you want the brown panties? Tweet right now.
Oh my god. Yeah, Adam, let me know what you want. He's in Ireland. Hi, Adam. I love you. Okay. Oh my god, that made me laugh so hard. The shade. You said you shaded me so hard. Okay, maybe he'll want the panties. Although then his parents will be like, you're not allowed to watch who was sending you panties. They'd be like, Mom, don't worry. I watched a boy wear them online first.
As you have seen already, I will be referencing Adam's videos and his account a lot in this video. I strongly recommend that you go to his channel for further details and his perspective as the situation unfolds. But also, it's important to note that Adam's original video that was made 3 years ago was largely dismissed and swept under the rug after it came out, and he is now having to relive the trauma that was caused by that video being dismissed, and a lot of people are now speaking out against Colleen and apologising for Adam for what he had to go through in order to get his side of the story listened to. I mean, Adam was only 17 at the time of making his original video. He was still a minor, and there were fully grown adults making fun of him. Notably Colleen's friend Corey, who posted meme videos making light of Adam's claims and generally dismissing his very serious allegations against Colleen. So Adam had previously been a fan of Colleen since 2012, and he ran fan pages dedicated to her. He met her at events and they started talking on a more personal one-to-one level when Adam was 13 years old. Adam states that Colleen would tell him details of her divorce and relationship and was asked to follow along gossip websites and get information on what people were saying about Colleen and her ex-husband.
And in 2016 to 2018, I was always asked to follow along gossip sites. Now the gossip sites were talking about her ex-husband and her relationship and the divorce. And I was very much so made to follow along with that and then feed back that information and what they were talking about. Now me doing this, it led to my name getting thrown into the mix in these gossip sites, and Adam, the character, the person, whatever you want to call it, started getting really attacked on these sites too.
Around this time, Colleen had been called out for posting a tweet on her Miranda Sings account where it was hinted at that Miranda would be coming out as gay, and then the joke was that she was coming out as a Meghan Trainor fan. Colleen got a lot of backlash for joking about coming out, and we would later find out that it was Adam who had come up with and posted that tweet idea for Colleen. Though this tweet had been approved, once it started getting backlash, Colleen deleted it, and though she didn't blame Adam immediately, the next day she started to vent to him. Bearing in mind that she was a woman in her 30s that a moment ago wanted to hire this 17-year-old as a social media intern, but as soon as that 17-year-old made a naive mistake, she started complaining to him and blaming him, even though it was her decision to hire a child to do a job.
But she said, "It's all anyone is talking about. I'm really upset. I would never post something like that, and now everyone thinks I'm homophobic. I'm really, really upset." So right now she's seemingly taken back all opinions of me, of my tweet ideas, of my input on the account for her saying thank you for everything you did. It was magical. I'm so happy the fans. Now, I would never tweet stuff like that. My fans think I'm homophobic. I can't believe this. And instead of checking in how I was as well, I was just getting short, snappy sentences to guilt me even more.
I just think that this is incredibly unprofessional, and it baffles me that she would talk to a teenager like this. I mean, this was a job that Adam was hired to do for free, and she massively crossed a boundary in my opinion. After this point, Adam was ghosted by Colleen and there was no closure, which prompted him to make the video. After a few weeks, Colleen posted a video titled Addressing Everything, in which she expresses regret for her actions. She starts it by addressing a bunch of different videos that were being pulled up at the time, where she had previously been racist, fatphobic, and joked about killing her dog.
I should have known better, and I didn't, and I'm extremely embarrassed by that. I'm really hopeful that I can be used as proof that people can change and grow and learn from their mistakes. If you continue to speak up when you see someone doing something or saying something wrong, it can make a difference. As I grew up, I learned that those words were hurtful and I stopped using them. But there are still people in our world currently who are saying racist, homophobic, sexist, body-shaming things that need to stop. They need to be called out because they can change. I'm living proof of it. And my ignorant words from my past just make me that much more passionate to help the people that my words might have hurt.
She apologised for these things before moving on to addressing Adam's video. Colleen said that she'd not properly looked at the tweets that he was going to post, and admits that she was wrong to hand over the Twitter account to him. A very different story to what seemed to be happening in her DMs when the tweet was posted, according to Adam's video.
It was no different for him. I wanted to do a little test run. If it went well, then I wanted to hire him. So I gave him access to my account, and he started tweeting stuff for me. And pretty quickly, there was a tweet that was posted that was problematic. This was my fault. He sent me a very long list of a ton of different things he wanted to post, and I did not look over it closely enough. I did not review it closely enough. I remember the moment when I saw all of these things. I was breastfeeding my son, and I kind of just scrolled through and was like, yeah, go for it. Have fun. I trust you. And when he posted it, I put zero blame on him at all. It was my fault. I knew better than to let someone else tweet for me. I should have reviewed closely every single thing that was going to come out of Miranda's mouth. I let him know that I loved him. He did a great job. It was my fault, not his. I publicly apologized for the tweet. I deleted the tweets that were posted that weren't posted from me. I let him know that I was upset, that people were disappointed in me, and then he said he logged out of the account, and that was the end of it.
Colleen also admits to oversharing with fans and says that she regrets it, and it's this oversharing that's got her in trouble again this time.
To me, you aren't just my fans, you're my friends. We all have seen me cry way too many times on this channel about things I probably should have kept to myself. I definitely overshare, and I have definitely overshared with fans when they have asked me what's wrong or asked me how I'm feeling or try to console me when I'm feeling down. I definitely have overshared in the past with them and talked with them a little too much when I should have kept things to myself or talked to family or close friends instead.
What she doesn't address is that the adults in these chats were few and far between, and that most people in the group chats that she was oversharing in were between the ages of 12 and 17, and this is something that we will go into more detail later. After Colleen's apology video, the allegations were largely dismissed, with people turning against Adam and accusing him of starting a hate campaign against Colleen and taking her side. Her video was taken as the truth, and fans of hers started to speak out against Adam, and it wasn't until recently that people had any further reasons to doubt her. That was until the allegations were re-sparked on TikTok, with other former fans talking about their experience with Colleen in her group chats and on stage with her when they were young fans of hers.
Alright, here are the actual screenshots where Colleen was inappropriate with her minor fans. Again, I did not want to share these, but her fans continually keep asking, where's the proof, this is fake, and it's frankly getting exhausting because there's so much evidence. Here is where Colleen asked Adam when he was 15 if he was a virgin. Here is where she changed her group chat name to Winter C Blockers, and she asked her fans, tell me what move I should make on a very inappropriate word for her boyfriend. That's her boyfriend's name, all mixed in with bad words. And yes, there are minors in this chat where she asks this. Her minor fans answer her, and she says, okay, I'm gonna go to him and say, I want to stress eat your wiener. Again, minors are here. Like here where she says, hi, everyone hates me. I just can't imagine being like a fan that's like 12 or 13 or 14 and hearing this from my idol and how much stress that would cause me and how much I would feel I would need to comfort them. And she spoke a lot about her divorce and complained that her ex said that she was cheating. And again, these kids had to comfort her, even though a lot of these kids also liked her ex-husband. And I think Adam even said this in his video, that he really like worshipped their relationship and it felt like a divorce of his parents in a way. So he's having to process that information, but also comfort her about it. But she really kept her fans hooked in these group chats by like giving little tidbits, and they got more information than the rest of the fandom, and it created like this personal relationship. And again, she fostered these parasocial relationships with the fans. She made kids feel more important because it got her a lot of loyalty. And I know there's people that be like, oh, she's not a real predator. And like, okay, I'm not saying that she is. What I'm saying is that she used grooming tactics and predatory behavior to get what she wanted out of fans, which was that they buy her merchandise and show up to her shows and give her free labor. And most importantly, attack anybody who attacks her. And you see that in my comments so much. And the things that these kids say is so scary to me. Like, I will always stand by her. Like, I'm a ride or die. Nothing could convince me that Colleen isn't great. That kind of defense is a direct response to the way that she talked about kids here.
Colleen's relationship with her fans, especially in the early days of YouTube, seemed to be parasocial and deeply inappropriate. And this became normalized because her fan base was mostly young people between the ages of 12 and 16, and therefore for a lot of people it's only as they get older and they realize that the nature of their relationship with Colleen online was inappropriate, because at the time a lot of these people had no reason to question her behavior. She was the responsible adult in the position of power, and they looked up to her on YouTube. They were fans who were excited to be talking to her. They would do anything for her attention, and she took advantage of that. Colleen asked her fans to do strange things in this group chat that she was part of with them, such as putting tampons in their mouths.
I swear I'm not high.
The video on YouTube that re-sparked this conversation about Colleen was made by Kodee Tyler, a person who had previously been a huge fan of Colleen's and defended her. Kodee's video has since been deleted, but I'll go over what was said for context. It's also worth noting that Kodee deleting their video is sort of a bad move in my opinion, as it was the video that finally re-sparked these allegations and proved that Colleen and her friend Corey had planted the seeds for Kodee to start an online smear campaign against Adam. I'm a little disappointed to see that this recent video has been deleted, but luckily I have it downloaded for you guys so I can show you the evidence that was presented. Kodee states that they were a fan of Colleen's for a while, but only joined the fandom on Twitter in 2017. It was then that they joined the Colleen group chats to talk to other members of the fandom.
When I started joining these group chats, I did not know at the time that there were minors in these group chats, which I should have done the research on. So I want to apologize to any child who were in these group chats. I should not have been in a group chat with you. There's no excuse for that. Should not have been in group chats with minors.
This video is interesting as Kodee talks about how they crossed lines in the fandom by doing things like writing fanfiction about real people, in particular Colleen and her husband Eric. They've since apologised for this and expressed regret, but it is worth noting that they are not entirely blameless in this situation. They go on to talk about what happened for them when the original Adam McIntyre video dropped.
I am going to show you DMs between me and Colleen and me and Corey, because I think you need to see these. She DMs me and says,
I wanted to reach out to you privately and in confidence and let you know why I'm staying silent. After he sent me that last message,
which you can see in his video, I'll link that down below,
that he is now made public, I responded to his messages immediately, did not ghost him, and then received a message from his mother through his DMs asking me to not speak of him. I now realize I should have never been communicating with him in the first place.
Yeah, duh. He was a child. He's not even the only child that she was talking to.
Kodee explains that they wanted Colleen to like them and they were going through a mental illness at the time, which contributed to the parasocial relationship and ultimately resulted in them creating the video against Adam.
I had a parasocial relationship with her. I was gonna say whatever I could to make her think I was on her side because I wanted her to like me. I'm just being honest. That's what it was. The red flags were literally waving in my face and I was just like, la-di-da-di-da, like not even paying attention to them. And then I was like, do you mind if I include the DMs proving he lied in my video? Because like I said, I wanted those DMs and I wanted to be the only one who had them. And then I was like, my plan is to paint the video show Adam manipulates you into trusting him and had a master plan to take you down when you got mad about the Miranda thing. Like, girl, you don't have that. Be quiet. No, he's a kid. So embarrassing.
I'm sorry, I needed to do the right thing and respect his mother's wishes.
She doesn't do that at all.
Another key person in this situation that I've mentioned a few times is Corey DeSoto, a close friend and frequent collaborator of Colleen's. He was the guy in the live stream modelling the underwear and has been on Colleen's channel and in her shows for years. He was also involved in a lot of these group chats with Colleen and her fans. At this point in the story, Corey messaged Kodee saying that Adam was lying in his video about Colleen. Corey also said this very publicly and was the spark that created the huge online hate campaign against Adam, who was, and I cannot express this enough, only 17 at the time. He was a child being bullied by adults on the internet, adults that he had previously trusted and idolized.
He was literally sending me stuff on Adam. Like, I don't think people understand this. Corey messaging me here, this was all manipulation. Like, I want people to understand this and all of this is all manipulation. They were planning this. You can't tell me that this wasn't strategy. They were trying to get me to make the video so they could see the backlash that I would get with talking badly about Adam, so they knew what they could talk about. Good job. You really manipulated me. Good job. Then Corey's like,
for the record, I've never had a friendship with him.
He's talking about Adam. Adam deserves to see this. Everyone deserves to see what kind of people these people are.
The only time I said his name was when we wondered if he ran the hate account.
This is the Galaxy Colleen account, which I made a video on.
I wondered if he ran the hate account because for years people have sent us screenshots of him hating on us.
Where?
I hate how he acted like I was friends with him.
Babe, he was a child. I just want to know why you care what a child thinks about you in a fandom for your friend. Like, don't you have more important things to do? Do we want to talk about you looking at mature content in group chats with children?
I also want to insert a clip here where Adam talks about this particular message that Corey sent, as Corey played a huge part in silencing Adam's voice and painting him as a liar.
Corey is now painting me as a 17-year-old as an awful person behind the scenes. Let's talk about what he just said. I don't understand why people believe a 17-year-old who tweeted naked edited photos of Colleen and also homophobic slurs. All right then. Okay, so first of all, I mean, we can easily talk about the fact that this was the humor of Miranda Sings, where people would edit these photos of Miranda Sings onto like naked celebrities and stuff like that, and it was an inside joke between us, whether Corey wants to acknowledge that or not. You can take that out of context if you want, Corey, and say that didn't happen. Don't care. Years later, none of your words hold any value to me. All right? Or when I have messages from Colleen talking about those kind of things that say thanks for the burn. So, you didn't cover your tracks very well, any of you.
After Kodee had made their video defending Colleen and slandering Adam, they then went on to make a video called Colleen Ballinger, You Messed Up, in which they call Colleen out for her old videos in which she said a whole host of awful things. At this point, Kodee says that they left the fandom, but the effects of their words, in particular those against Adam, had huge implications. And for 3 years, Adam's video became dismissed and Colleen and Corey continued their business as usual without any more being said about it. So now we get to 2 weeks ago on the 4th of June when Adam posted a video titled I Was Right About Colleen Ballinger, in which he addresses the situation 3 years on from his original video.
Colleen did to Kodee what she did to me. And there was a time period where I hated Kodee because my entire story got silenced because of Codee's video. But now I know that Colleen did to Kodee what Colleen did to me for many years. She's a manipulative person who tries to take advantage of people, and this is what Codee's talking about. And now, today, the 4th of June, I can sit here and be like, I, relate to Kodee now, and it's something I never thought I would ever say. And Kodee is the person who, when I watched this video today, has made me feel not fucking crazy and not fucking deranged. And I've had people in my ear for the past 3 years calling me a liar, calling me manipulative, calling me obsessed, calling me all these different things. And it has just been proven today that I was none of those things.
What I find interesting is that both Adam and Kodee admit that the reason that they engaged with Colleen was not only because they were young, but also because of their parasocial relationship with her, in which they would have done almost anything for her attention. They were completely wrapped up in her acknowledgement of them, and the things that she was saying as a 30-something-year-old woman to her young fans was completely overlooked. I think that Colleen had a responsibility to protect her fans, and sometimes in order to be responsible, you have to not have that group chat with them. If your fan base is young, it's not appropriate to talk to them as if they are your peers, because they're not. There's a huge power imbalance in these group chats, and Colleen held and abused her power. Colleen went from one young fan to another, leaking screenshots and trying to discredit Adam without doing any of the work herself. At least that's what it looks like according to the DMs that have been shared. It just seems very, very childish and immature to try and get your fans to smear each other.
Can we acknowledge that? She just messaged someone saying that out of respect for him being a child, I'm not going to respond to him. And she goes on to send my entire message history with her to someone to get them to leak it.
It's become clear that Colleen's relationship has historically been manipulative with her fans, and if the gender roles were reversed and Colleen was a man talking to young girls like this, it would be so much less of a grey area for people to grasp. I think that because Colleen for so long has had this sweet, kind, motherly persona, nobody's ever questioned the way that she behaves with her fans, even though it's been proven time and time again that her relationship with them involved trauma dumping, asking personal questions, sending inappropriately adult messages to group chats with her young fans, and repeatedly telling them that they were her best friends when they clearly weren't. Even if these are to be interpreted as jokes, the intent behind them doesn't matter anymore because they were inappropriate and they traumatized her young fans who are now growing up and seeing their relationship with her for what it really was. It's clear from messages and voice notes that have been leaked in these group chats that both Colleen and Corey were aware that the people that they were talking to were young fans, and whether they knew it or not, saying that they loved and trusted these children that they barely knew was planting the seeds of an emotionally manipulative relationship. This is particularly prevalent in a voice note that was leaked to Adam that Corey sent to one of these group chats with fans that shows him love bombing and saying that he is best friends with these children.
But first of all, I just want to say that, I love all of you. You all honestly mean so much to me.
Oh my god.
You have no idea. I know that it sounds weird because I'm a full-grown adult and some of you are younger.
Oh my god.
And blah, blah, blah.
Oh my god.
I honestly think of all of you, as my best friends. I don't have friends.
Oh god.
And I'm a loner and I'm a loser. My only friend is Colleen.
Oh my god.
And, it's so comforting to go online and talk to you guys and feel loved and cared about, because I love and care about all of you. And I trust you, and with all my friends, I vent to you, and when I'm angry, and I feel better, and I feel comforted by you all, and I hope that I can do the same for you. But this whole thing with Krista has just escalated into something really bad.
Oh my god.
I want to talk about Colleen when she's touring as Miranda sings, as she would often do strange and inappropriate sketches that were disguised as her doing a character. For example, there was a segment called Porn, in which Colleen would bring up two young girls on stage, one that was dressed as her, and one that was dressed in a more revealing way that was showing a part of their body. She would then shout porn at the young child dress showing their legs or stomach or whatever they were showing, essentially shaming women for what they were wearing and sexualizing children.
Here is wearing a nice button-up shirt all the way to the tippity top, nice long sleeves, pants that go all the way down to the floor. This is very nice, very conservative outfit, modest as hottest. This is a perfect example of not porn. This is porn. Her shorts are so short we can see all the creases and crevices. I can see her entire hole right here, and the shirt is so tight we can see the entire chesticles. This is a perfect example of porn.
She would then put a horn on that made her the anti-porn unicorn and hit the person in revealing clothing with the horn. There was another sketch in which she would bring a young boy on stage and supposedly teach him how to go on a date. She would put a bag of cheese balls in her pants and encourage the young boy to reach into her pants to grab these cheese balls.
The cheese ball?
Here's a picture of another young boy at a live show who actually felt comfortable enough to reach into her pants for the cheese balls. And I mean, look at that face she's making while he does it. Are you kidding me, Colleen? Imagine if this was a male on stage and a little girl did this. The worst part is Miranda has no shame in posting this on Facebook that an audience member took and titles it "Current Mood." Unbelievable.
Another video has gone viral of her bringing a 16-year-old fan on stage and spreading her legs as part of a yoga challenge. The girl in question then made a video talking about her traumatic experience.
Hi, okay, my name is Becky. I'm the girl in this video, and this video has over 1 million views, and that is a lot of people to be seeing this story without hearing it from me, so I want to explain this. So I was a fan of Colleen and all the Ballinger family for a very, very long time, and I think in this video I was about 16. If you've never been to a Miranda show, Colleen frequently has segments where she calls people up on stage. One of those segments was the porn bit, which I'm not really going to be explaining in this video, but that's why I was kind of trying to dress skimpy so that I would be called up on stage and basically get degraded by Miranda. But I did not get called up for that. I got called up for the yoga challenge. Now, as soon as I stood up from the audience, I saw Colleen's eyes widen because she realized I was not wearing pants. But for some reason, that didn't stop her from continuing. In fact, no adult at any point stepped in this situation. So we get to the point in the yoga challenge where I am laying down and Colleen is spreading my legs basically as far as she can. She spreads them so far that you can see the spandex I was wearing under my romper, which thank God I was wearing. Now, the original video posted by Xandar, I'm sorry if I pronounced her name wrong, is only a screenshot, but there is a whole video of this. But that screenshot is the most important because that is the moment I will never forget, where I was laying under Colleen and she was smirking down at me while thousands of people were laughing, and I was terrified that my body wasn't covered up enough by the spandex or the romper. I basically felt naked, so it felt incredibly violating. I was younger and my body was still developing and I was still becoming comfortable with myself, so for her to use my body as entertainment on stage really set my confidence back quite a lot. And not to mention, after all this, after the show, I had to walk back to my car where there was many men staring at me in a very predatorial way that they were not looking at me before because of how exposed I had been on stage.
I think that when she talks about men looking at her differently as she left the venue, we can see the issue highlighted here. Not only was she exploited and made uncomfortable by her idol on stage, but this then gave content to predatory people in the audience that would continue to exploit her as she left the venue and beyond. Colleen seemed to have an obsession with her young fans' bodies in her shows. Whether it was pointing them out or doing yoga challenges with them on stage, it's purely exploitative and gross, and she was able to get away with it by hiding behind a character and doing a funny voice. Honestly, I think that 95% of comedy is doing funny voices, and it's insane what people get away with. Adam also mentions in his video that Colleen would compliment parts of his body that were skinny when he was around 14-15 years old, and this gave him body issues to this day.
I just want to let people know that a main reason that I have a lot of body issues is because my favorite person in the entire world was complimenting whenever my arms looked skinny or my legs looked skinny or something like that. And at that stage, my body was just developing, so you can imagine how many years I went through of trying to replicate, and even struggle with it to this day, of trying to replicate that same body of like a 15-year-old, which is impossible at a 20-year-old. And I've been seeing a lot of people coming into my DMs talking about how they felt uncomfortable with how Colleen, you know, if she would compliment their selfies or something like that as well. And I think the overarching point here is that no YouTuber should be that involved in someone's life. And also no YouTuber should have their fans on Snapchat. Just a random point.
Colleen's obsession with her young fans' bodies simply cannot be overlooked at this point. Overall, I think that what a lot of this points to is a woman who has over-sexualized and emotionally manipulated her fans. I think what she put Adam through, both offline and online, and the 3-year-long hate campaign that spiraled off of it, was truly awful. And the fact that she was messaging people behind the scenes and spurring them on against him is frankly disgusting and immature behavior. It baffles me that she can act so immaturely and engage with her fans in the way that she has. I know that there are people who are reluctant to call her a groomer because they think her intent with these messages was as a joke rather than malicious, but she was the adult in that situation. She knew what she was doing, and she knew that in that group chat she held the power. I think that the questions she asked her fans and her continual comments on their young bodies both in private and in public is something that cannot be overlooked, and I hope that she has a long hard look at herself and what she's been able to get away with under the guise of a character. At the point of making this video, Colleen is yet to respond, but here's what I think is going to happen based on what we've seen before. She will likely post a serious apology video talking about how she can't believe she was ever like that and it was never the intention. Then she'll leave the internet for a while and come back in a few months and everyone will have forgotten about it. She'll probably suffer a small subscriber loss, but her core audience will stick around and she'll keep making money off of YouTube. Honestly, it's depressing, but looking at the other OG YouTubers with strong, hard evidence of grooming and sexual exploitation, there's little to no long-term consequences for these people. I wish there were, but there simply never is. So I can only hope that people will come back to this video and remind themselves of what happened during this time, because the internet forgets so quickly, but the people involved will never forget this trauma. So for their sake, I truly hope that this isn't swept under the rug. Thank you for watching this video. I have, as always, been your Uncle Herman. Please do watch Adam's videos that I will link in the description if you are interested in more information. Thank you for sticking around, and I'll see you in the next one.